And away we go. Oh, did I do this right? Yes, I did. Look at that. Look at that. I even got the right thumbnail, but you can't hear me though. That's because there, turn that up. That should be better. Let's turn this down. Oh, it's already down. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. Monday means we got a lot of catch up to do, and holy moly, I got 60 tabs open. Am I going to get to them all? Who knows? It's all one-liners today. Just giving you the headlines, and you can go read in depth if you'd like to. We'll see how far I get. I just got the sweetest text from my daughter, though, and I'm like looking at this, and I'm trying not to tear up. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. How y'all doing? I'm doing fine. Should we get this thing going? Yeah, let's do that. We'll do it. Well, I know. Johnny, do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
There we go. And of course, you didn't hear what I just did before I said stop the music. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where we talk about news and social things and whatnots and what wheres and what hows. That didn't make sense. I said what nots, what wheres. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is Monday, the 6th of November, 2023. And boy, oh boy, was it an amazing, interesting weekend that I kind of tried to ignore, but I couldn't because I have a bunch of friends who text a lot of this stuff to me, and I'm like, it's an wait a minute, is that an insurrection? Maybe not. Who knows? As you know, the White House kind of got protested and maybe, well, not attacked necessarily, but boy, they were trying to climb over the walls and stuff. And I'm sure the Secret Service people had their guns ready. The snipers on the roof of the White House were ready, but it didn't turn into that. But boy, oh boy, was it a mess. And they got little red paint all over it, symbolizing blood on your hands and all that shit. And we'll get to that. But my question today is not really one that I'm going to spend a lot of time on today necessarily, but I got to ask the question. And it's the title of the show. It keeps saying Free Palestine. And I can't really figure out what is this Palestine that they're speaking of. And so I'm dropping the question today, and I'll touch on it a little bit in the show, but it's going to be for another show. I want someone to explain to me when they say Palestine, what do they mean? Because Palestine's not a place. It's not a historical place. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not at least in the sense that there's some group of people who are literally Palestinian that have, lived somewhere for thousands of years. It was never a place, except, well, kind of under the British, I suppose. They called it that in a way, but not really. And so I'm trying to figure it out. Because they say some shit that just don't make sense. So anyway, let's say hi and get this thing going because I got so many tabs. Again, this is a lot of one-liners today because I don't have time for all. I mean, literally, I don't even know how many. Is 70 tabs open? I can't do it. So we're going to do our best to get through what we can. First, I'm going to say hi, though. First in chat over at Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diabli. Good morning, sir. You get the bell. That'd be the first bell for those of you who are new here. If you're first, you get the bell, okay? And Avocados Diabli got the bell on Rumble. Good morning, also Mike Savage, Blarg, and Jimmy Das Hotep from Hotep Nation. Also, I'm going to change this pinned comment here so I can see what's at the top here. First in chat on YouTube, also Mr. Avocados Diabli. So he's opening windows left and right, cats and dogs sleeping together, everything like that, and it's all good. There we go. Also, good morning to our friend Jesse Leon. Also, my good friend, Now What Studios. Woo's in the house. Nice to see you. Watching from Seattle. Say hi to mom and dad. I got your text the other day. I think I responded to your text. I got it. Was it yesterday? Anyway, I hope your mom and dad are doing well. Everyone looked happy in that picture I saw. Good morning. Next Gen Troll and Resolute Germ over on Rumble. Hi, how you doing? Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Kara Soldiers in the house. Man Squatch, thanks for tweeting out the show. Appreciate it. Good morning also, Attack Alpaca. Simon Wolfwood. Willett Forge, welcome back. Nice to see you every once in a while. I know it's scheduling stuff. Maddie's out of the hospital. Good morning, Maddie. I hope you're better. I was going to go up today, but I guess you're out of the hospital, so I guess that's not going to happen. But I'm glad you are feeling better. I was kind of worried about you, but Ronan kept me kind of up to date with what's going on. Also, good morning, James Stoner. How you doing? Welcome back. Good morning to I got to scroll a little bit. Ravon Harris, what's up? Lord Stanhope's in the house. Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Good morning also to Tyler F's in the house. Fake news expert. My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony's in the house. Not to dismiss fake news expert, who's also one of my favorite Canadians, but Jaeger Pony has the distinct title of being the favorite Canadian in the show. Good morning also to Ride Deos, what's up? Nice to have you back. I know it's hard for you to watch the show live, so I'm so happy to have you here. All right, do me a favor. Invite your friends. Invite your acquaintances. Invite your list of people that are on your social media to follow you. Please invite people to the show. We like it when people show up here. It's always fun. Now, I got to thank you real quick. Wait, why did this do that? Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Let's do this. I'm trying to thank people for tweeting out the show, and for some reason the notifications tab closed and the new one is not opening. What the hell's going on here? It's just some computer diddly-do that I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. Simon Wolfwood, Jimmy Does Hotep, Tyler F, Somnambul Nation, Willett Forge, all of you for retweeting the show. I'm saying it the Canadian style. And then Somnambul Nation Man Squatch doing it before I even had a chance to. That is awesome. I love it when you do that. I like it when you do it right there. How's that song go? I don't know. Anyway, that's probably inappropriate, isn't it? I don't think that's what that song's about. Anyway, shall we talk about now? Let's talk about stuff. Now, every morning I kind of tell you what people are talking about on the social media platforms, mainly X, because that's where most people talk about shit. Because, it's Facebook's kind of half of, cat videos and, well, not cat videos. Cat videos are kind of passé now, but just people posting their stuff about their families and stuff like that. But X, people talk about shit. Right? They talk about shit. And so I always like to use X because it kind of gives me an idea of what people are thinking in the kind of political social commentary world. Okay? And just before I started the show, I was looking at trends on Twitter, and all of a sudden, poof, the Democratic Party shows up. And I was like, oh, well, let's add that to the list. It's not on the list of things. Oh, no. I see. Oh my gosh, I should never look down. I'm talking about what avocados happily put in the chat. That's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. Anyway, and there are those on Twitter. If you're paying attention on the chat, I'm not reading that. Maybe later because it's early in the show. Okay, so the Democratic Party shows up as a trending topic, and I'm like, oh, well, that's different because Trump and Biden and everything else that always trend a lot, and I didn't put those in the list, but today, what? Wait, what? Gretzky is okay with me. Wait, what? Wait, is there? What's going on with Gretzky? Hold on. Am I missing something? Hang on. Give me a second. Oh, okay. This is not. You had me nervous there. I thought maybe Wayne Gretzky died. I'm like, I'd have been like, what? He's not that old. Well, he's older than me. He's old. He's older than me, but still, he's not that old. Not a lot older than me though. Maybe he's not older than me. I don't know, but you had me nervous there. Anyway, let's go back to the Democratic Party. That's what I wanted to talk about, because a lot of people are talking about the Democratic Party today, and I'm not really sure. And the first thing that pops up, oh, F me. Where is this damn ace? I got to figure this out. See, there's always something I forget to do before I start the show, and I forgot to make it so you could see shit. All right, there we go. The first thing that pops up was Tim Black. And I don't know if you know Tim Black. Tim Black's a very progressive commentator who also happens to be black. But I like Tim Black, even though I don't agree with him on things. I think he's a great YouTube type person who does commentary, even though I don't agree with him on anything. But I do like his style, and he's kind of funny. And he's not a sycophant for parties. He is what he is. He believes what he believes, but he doesn't mess with the other BS. He's not the like liberal woke. He's like old style woke type black man, but leftist. Anyway, so he's talking about why black voters are moving away from the Democratic Party. So let's play this real quick.
It's over for the Democrats, because all you had left was the blacks. A lot of people are waking up to the Democrats, and they're moving away.
Yes, Coffee with Tim Black. He's a good dude.
Moving away. Bye, boy. Bye, Democrats.
And you know why part of that is? Well, let's see what he says.
Bye, Democrats. Bye-bye.
Hello, Bishop. What's up, brother?
Bye-bye.
Nice to see you. Okay, so he's being funny. Anyway, if that is the case, part of it probably has to do with, at least in the cities, the immigration thing, man. It's getting bad. And a lot of black folk who are diehard voting Democrat are looking at some of these Democrats and Mr. Biden and going, I hate to say it, but we were doing better under the guy with the funny hair. And so that's interesting. But other people talking about Democrats. So apparently New York City is offering illegal immigrants one-way plane tickets out of town, but a lot of them aren't taking them. No, they want to be in New York City. To which Rob Schneider, the comedian, says, "Dear New York City Mayor Adams, maybe ask your own Democratic Party to close the border. Save money on airplane tickets." Oh, snap! Snap, Rob Schneider. Sticks is talking about the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is managing to alienate both Jews and Muslims simultaneously. Well, at least they're achieving equity for once. Yeah. Go ahead, Sticks. And Newt Gingrich. I'll just stop on this one. The Democratic Party is rapidly developing a pro-terrorist wing when the vice president's stepdaughter raises $8 million for a terrorist organization. There's something sick going on when the vice president responds to a nearly 400% increase in anti-Semitism by talking about Islamophobia. There is an absolute pro-terrorist bias. So that's interesting. I gotta say, he's spot on, right? All right, other things trending right now. Sally Field is trending because it is Sally Field's birthday. Now, this is back in Sally Field in 1980 when she kind of went through a hot phase, because she was a cute phase when I was little, because we still saw reruns of The Flying Nun. I don't think it was actually on, because I think the series ended when I was like a baby. But Flying Nun was a cute show, right? And if you know what I'm talking about when I say The Flying Nun, good on you. And then she went through she went through a serious actor phase, because didn't she get an Oscar for Norma Ray? That was a movie about her trying to form a union in a factory or whatever. And then in the 80s she did a whole bunch of movies, and she what's cool is and it's, by the way, it's her birthday today. That's why she's trending. In fact, Sally Field is 76. This is the one thing that I appreciate about Sally Field. She hasn't tried to make herself look the same as she always did. She refuses plastic surgery. She refused to do a lot of stuff. Sally Field, 76, has refused to apologize for her gray hair and has remained committed to not having plastic surgery. She fights ageism in Hollywood. This timeless actress has some harsh words for those who say she looks like an old granny. Look, you don't think they need grannies in movies? She's a great actress, and I don't, her politics kind of out there, but she's a Hollywood chick. Hello, Next Gen Troll, by the way. I already said hi, Next Gen Troll. Anyway, Jason Who, what's up? Special Can Acid, what's up? Did I miss anybody? Okay. But she's a great actress. Been in a lot of great movies. She was all, it's funny because who were we talking about? She was in The World According to Garp. I thought she was great in that movie. And now I forget the name of the actor who I said became a household name because we celebrated his birthday recently. But anyway, she has a Kennedy Center honor, 2 Oscars, 2 Golden Globes, 3 Emmys, and has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Sally Field. Okay, that's why she's trending. Let's move on. Also trending is Meathead. Now, usually when Meathead is trending, it's because something Rob Reiner said. You remember Rob Reiner? He's the guy who played Meathead on All in the Family. But it's not necessarily that. Now, so I was like, well, why is Meathead trending? And I wasn't really sure. So I was scrolling through this Meathead. Now, this is not the main reason because the main reason's coming up. But this one I thought was pretty good too, from somebody named Pismo. No idea who Pismo is. Biden is not the answer. It's really not that complicated. Even you, Meathead, can understand it because he's replying to Rob Reiner, Meathead. It's not that complicated. Peace and prosperity during Trump and poverty and war during Biden. And no matter what the so-called economic indicators that the Biden administration tries to play off, that one that's called inflation that's killing everybody, that's the one that's it ain't working. So you can claim that, we created 13 million jobs when there's only been 2 million new jobs during your presidency when the others were all just people who came back to work. But this is not why it's trending. It's trending because Roseanne Barr dropped a meme bomb on Rob Reiner's head. Not necessarily meme, but here it is. So Rob Reiner saying, war is not the answer, probably referring to what's happening over in Israel, right? And Roseanne Barr said, Biden supporter is anti-war. We had a peaceful 4 years and your fat ass couldn't stand it, which is true. I'm just saying. So anyway, she's ripping up, a lot of people ripping Meathead to shreds. So let's keep going though, because I got lots and lots and lots to talk about. Also trending this morning. I already said the Democratic Party. That's where it was. I was wondering what happened to that. It was supposed to be after those bozos. Well, not bozos. Sally Fields is not a bozo. So President Biden is trending. Now, there's several reasons why President Biden is trending, of course, because he's the president of the United States, and it's not hard to have President Biden trending. But here's, let me hit the, excuse me, let me hit the button here. So first, let's see. I'm kind of gonna just go through a couple that I saw and we'll skip the others. So this one, Jim Garrity, who's not a fan of the guy with the funny hair, and he's been very pro Biden, even though he's a right of center individual. But he's mad about, well, not mad, but he's given it to the Rashida Tlaib wing of the Democratic Party, the from the river through the sea party. Remember, we talked about how Rashida Tlaib tried to play off what from the river to the sea means last weekend, or on what we talked about on Friday. He's saying you can't chant or endorse the chant, quote, no peace on stolen land, end quote, and then insist you're calling for peaceful coexistence. You just literally said you're not willing to peacefully coexist with somebody else because you say they're on land stolen from you, which is not the truth. If you know anything about Israel, if you know anything about that land, no, not stolen. In fact, I mean, Jewish people have been buying that land for years in some cases, and it was never so-called Palestinian land. There was no such thing as Palestinian land. It was controlled by the UN, which split it off into Israel. It was controlled by the Brits. Before that, it was the Ottoman Empire. Before that, it was probably the Romans. It was really nothing of a land, until really it became tame Israel. But it's been land that's been controlled by different people over the years, and a lot of the so-called Palestinians, which they didn't really start even calling themselves Palestinians until like the 60s. This is long after Israel was formed. Well, long, not relatively, but it's actually a relatively short period of time if you think of history. But they didn't even start calling themselves Palestinians until the 60s. And that was, after, the formation of Israel, and then all the Arab states attacked Israel in 1948. And I saw someone claiming, "Oh, you've been killing Palestinians since 1948." Oh, no. No. That land was stolen from the Romans, who rightfully conquered it. Yeah, it's been controlled by so many different people. And there really was no. If you're gonna say who has the longest history on that land, excuse me, I think that would be the Jews, the Jewish people, right? So anyway, that's not why Biden's trending. Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna play this just because these are my dudes right here. This is Joe Biden wrote laws to lock people up like Hunter Biden, but the big guy needs is 10%. Here's Hotep, Uncle Hotep and Hotep Jesus from Hotep's Been Told You. Here, let me fix this so you can see the damn clip. Here's the clip. This is funny. Little knowledge from Uncle Hotep.
I don't know why this is not a scandal. I just don't understand in America. Like this guy, he wrote the law. He out of his own mouth. He giving y'all 5 years. You have a little bit of crack cocaine, just a little bit. I got a quarter right here. This is a quarter, right here.
Oh, I thought
this quarter, right? We give you 5. We give you a nickel. That's what you call it when you do a time. You do a nickel. Mm-hmm. You put a dent in a nickel. That's 2.5, 3. Mm-hmm. That's when you put a dent in a nickel. I've been in jail. I've been with these jokers that seal down Delaware. Mm. Shout out.
Now, by the way, he was a prison guard. He wasn't in jail, like he didn't get arrested. But anyway,
the nerdy. Mm. How this is not a scandal? Like, how is this like? How are people not calling for Biden to resign? Like, Joe, you wrote these bills.
Oh, by the way, this might be one of the people that black people are starting to lose faith in Joe Biden too, because they're being reminded. They're being reminded of what Joe Biden was, and because during the election of 2020, nobody wanted to remind you because they had to get the guy with the funny hair out of there. But boy, oh boy, people are remembering now that Joe Biden's flailing and has so many other issues.
To lock these people up, and you lock record numbers of people up. Mm. Meanwhile, your son is using that same stuff. Using that same stuff.
Say
it. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Then on top of that, man, you was out here telling your son to do deals for you. Getting cuts for the big guy.
Hello, cannibalistic wizard.
Now you talking reckless on my channel.
That's what he said. Somebody said that. I don't know who it was. I don't know whose voice it was.
Tell it, Rock Hopper.
But I just don't understand, like, how, as a man, that you would go out there and stand in front of the Congress and say you were proud you did that job, and you couldn't even take care of your own family, and you couldn't even keep your son off that shit.
Okay, so anyway, that's from Hotep's Been Told You. Check out on Hotep Jesus channel Thursday nights, every Thursday night, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. my time. All right, other reasons though. Glenn Greenwald has some things to say about Biden too. Of all the deceitful, first of all, Biden administration officials says Israel's counterattack against Hamas has been too severe and too costly in civilian casualties, but they are unable to exert significant influence on America's closest ally in the Middle East to change its course. Now that's interesting. Now, partly because it's probably true, I suppose, because Netanyahu just says, whatever, I do not want to talk to you. But Glenn Greenwald thinks that's a deceitful and morally bankrupt claim. He said, I've heard Joe Biden make over the years. He's sadly powerless to affect Israel's behavior when he just demanded $14 billion for Israel, and Israel has long received more U.S. aid than any other country. So saying it's politics. So the idea that, now why did Joe Biden ask for $14 billion in aid to Israel? Did Israel ask for that aid? I don't know. I'm still confused on that. Again, Israel, I think, has one of the most capable militaries in the world. I don't know if they need our aid for that, but but it is a good point, I suppose, he made. Now, let's see. But anyway, there's a whole other reasons. And then Michael Tracy, again, why did it never occur to so many of the left liberals calling for a ceasefire in Israel to call for a ceasefire in Ukraine? Because they agreed with Biden that the U.S. provided bombs in Ukraine were being dropped for democracy or something. Is that why? So anyway, lots of people, obviously everyone talks about Joe Biden every day. So we're done with that. Next, Trump is trending because Donald Trump apparently is going to be testifying this morning at a New York courthouse on the civil fraud trial. Now, interesting. Remember, this case in New York is a civil case, right? And in theory, if Trump loses, he could be fined $250 million, something like that. But the way that this has been set up is they're claiming that a judge, because again, this is a case before a judge, not in front of a jury. A judge can decide if he can seize all of Trump's businesses in the state of New York at the end of this trial. And it's a railroad trial so far. And again, you know me, I said this is one of the dumbest trials I've ever seen. But anyway, so he's going to be testifying today, and he's trending because of what he wrote on Truth Social. President Trump calls out Judge Arthur Engoron, as also known as Enmoron. Here's what he said. Judge Enmoron is a political hack who ruled against me before the trial even started. He is doing the dirty work for the Democratic Party, or he said Democrat Party. I was not even given an option of a jury. This rigged case should never have been brought but since it should have been in the commercial division, but Engoron would not let go of it. He fought us, sanctioned us for no reason, fined us big money, never gave us even 1 day of delay. This is his big chance, and he was not going to let it go. In the meantime, they lost their star witness, and my financial statements were great. There was no fraud, so they are working with a corrupt AG whose campaign was, I will get Trump to develop something, anything. They even go back to 2014, past the statute of limitations, to look at a lowball offer I made for the Buffalo Bills. Someone else offered much more. So what? Now they come up with something called disgorgement. I've never even heard of the term. Witch hunt, election interference. So Donald Trump's not happy, and he's about to testify today, and he'll be trending all day. Let's see. Anything else that there's interesting? Trump should have been. Oh, Brandon Straka. Trump never should have been gracious with Hillary Clinton or any other swamp actors. If he gets back in, it's go time against the Bidens, the Clintons, and everyone else who sold us out and corrupted our system. So Brandon Straka thinks that, we should be doing he should be doing what do they call it? Not a retribution presidency. A lot of people are calling it that if he gets elected again. It's going to be interesting, man. I'll talk about some polls in a second, but before I do that, I'm going to go back to the main bits because I want to thank Gunfox61. Welcome, sir, and thank you for sponsoring the show. And by the way, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. And also an article. Well, let's see what this article is. Let's see what this is. I might have already had this up. Oh yeah, I just mentioned this, but I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna move it right up the chain right now. Move it right after Trump here. Let's see, where's Trump? No, that's Democratic Party. I'm gonna put this right up here, and we'll go do it right now because this ties into what we just talked about. So, well, actually, Democratic Party. Anyway, so this is fascinating. This is fascinating. So, Kamala Harris, married to a Brethren fellow, And his brother and fellow husband, her brother and fellow husband's stepdaughter, Ella Emhoff, is promoting an $8 million Gaza fundraising campaign. You know, this is not sitting well with certain Democrats. And so anyway, the stepdaughter of Vice President Kamala Harris is publicly raising money for Gaza. The Post has learned Ella Emhoff, 24, whose father, First Gentleman Dawg Emhoff, is Jewish, affixed a fundraising drive supporting urgent relief for Gaza's children on her personal Instagram account. It makes no mention of the scores of Israeli children murdered among the 1,400 Israelis killed by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Her promotion puts the funding appeal in front of her 315,000 Instagram followers. By the way, she's a supermodel. This girl right here is a supermodel. Or, well, she's been used as a model in certain things. She comes off really, well, I don't know what the word is. Anyway, her promotion puts the fundraiser, which has netted more than $7.8 million so far, is being operated by the Palestinian Children Relief Fund, a nonprofit based in Kent, Ohio, which raked in more than $21 million in 2021, according to ProPublica. It's unclear how much, if anything, Ella Emhoff has personally donated to the cause. It's a tremendous concern, and I find it abhorrent, said Representative Jeff Van Drew, who's a Republican in New Jersey. To be honest with you, I'm kind of stunned by it. It's disturbing to the maximum degree. Van Drew, a member of the House Homeland Security Committee, said it was almost certain that Hamas would be able to siphon off any humanitarian cash that entered Gaza. It's like they are the government of Gaza. They are the government of Gaza. So if it's humanitarian aid going into Gaza, it has to go through Hamas. These people are delusional. It's insane. Anyway, there she is, the model. Emma, what is her name? Something. What's her name? Ella Emhoff, the model. That's her. She's on the runways. That person is on the runway. She's, amazing. Anyway, thank you, Gun Fox. Blood pressure fuel. Appreciate you, brother. And thank you for dropping a dime in the tip jar. If you want to sponsor the show, in fact, I should probably link if you want to sponsor the show, drop a deuce or more in the tip jar. Where's this? I'll pin that on the YouTubes up there. You can hit the pdognight.live link there. All right, let's move forward here. Let's see. Let's talk about polls. And never mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I said no, don't do it. No, we're not talking about those kind of polls. Sorry. Okay. Silly fucking me. SFM. That used to be one of my phrases. I don't even know where I got that from. Did I get that from you? Did I get that from Woo? I don't know. Or was that, maybe it was my friend Claudia. I don't know. SFM. Silly fucking me. Moving on. Let's see. Polls are trending, though. Polls are trending because there's some interesting stuff going on in polling right now. And again, I do not mean, no, not that kind of polling. Stop it. Okay. Now, some Democrats and Trump haters are panicking right now because the polls are so bad, not just for Joe Biden, but weirdly, in some ways, in favor of Trump. Now, there's a bunch of polls that people are talking about. Now, this is Joe Walsh, whose current grift is to be the reasonable Republican who fights every day to make sure Trump never gets into office, who says to everyone waking up to this morning panicking over polls, there are more people in this country who oppose Donald Trump than there are people who support him. If those people who oppose Trump vote, Trump loses. And if they don't vote, Trump wins. It's all in your hands. Well, if your choice is Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I'm foreshadowing. I'm not going to go there yet. I'll come back to that. Now, someone here also, by the way, tomorrow, speaking of polling, tomorrow in some states, there are off-year elections, and if you live in a state, go find out what elections are going on and find out what the candidates for whatever offices do, and make sure you vote, because it's mostly local elections, and local elections can really bite you in the ass. if you're not paying attention. And there have been a lot of people out there pushing for just weird shit. So go find out what local election you got and make sure you know who you're going to go vote for. Just do a quick, there's got to be a way to look up some of it, but you need to do that if you have an off year election. If you seriously go and tell your friends, tell everyone you know that every election is important, not just the presidential election. This is the most important election in my lifetime. No, the most important elections are your local elections where people can do some really bad stuff to you. So go check that out. Now speaking of local elections, apparently I don't know if Kim Reynolds up for is running for governor now, but apparently there's a poll that says she is the most unpopular governor in the country. Now, this is a weird way to put this because if you're looking at this graphic they put here, let me put the graphic on the screen. This graphic doesn't, in a way it does, she has the highest disapproval rating, okay? But it doesn't mean I don't consider a disapproval rating necessarily meaning you are the most unpopular, because if she's a +2 approval rating to disapproval, that's not the most unpopular. She has a 49% approval rating, 47% disapproval rating, and then 4% don't answer, right? But if you look down here, well, this guy, Tate Reeves, Mississippi, 46% approval rating, 44% disapproval. Okay, that's close, I guess. There's one down here, though. What is it, 44, 41, with the 15% not knowing? I mean, if your approval rating is only 44%, or your approval rating is only 46%, does that mean you're popular? I don't know. You know, if what is it, 56% are either disapprove or don't know, I think that's pretty bad. I think that's worse than 47% and 4% because you still got 9% approval rate. How does that add up? That doesn't even add up, does it? Yeah, it does. Never mind. Okay, so, but that's not the important part. What's the important part is apparently a Gallup poll came out and not necessarily looking good for Joe Biden, but again, it's not the election year. We're still in 2023. We haven't even hit the meat of the election yet. But where is it? Where Gallup? Oh, here's one Gallup poll. Plurality of Americans now oppose aid to Ukraine. Well, it's about damn time. Jeez. We're pouring money down a losing battle. I know you're not supposed to say that, but we are. But here's the one that people are talking about too. They're doing approval ratings for Biden and Donald Trump, right? Two new polls show Biden at 37% and 38% approval rating. Gallup approval rating stands at 37%, Interactive 38%. New York Times Siena poll shows Biden losing to Trump by 3 to 10% among registered voters in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania. Those are the swing states that were all questionable in 2020, or at least they say they were. I don't know if they really were or not. Wink, wink. But that's not good. And that's one of those things that, here it is. Trump is ahead in 5 swing states: Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Now, again, it's really, 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 really early. Okay, really, really, really early. And I don't even know what is this. That's the New York Times Siena College poll. We also got the Gallup poll that has really has people concerned. Is this it? Oh no, this is still the New York Times poll. Real quick, thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, dropping a big bowl in the tip jar. Big 556, who says, watch out. They try and sneak in constitutional amendments to. I have 10 constitutional amendments to vote on, but no people. Oh my God. Yeah, that's the thing. Because in the states, a lot of states, you vote on constitutional amendments and they'll get all the activists all riled up and have this election, and they don't really advertise. They just pass their names among the activists, and then all those people go out and vote because they know it's voting day, and you're like, what what was that? You passed what? So yeah, you got to get out and vote. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. Definitely. Oops. There we go. Thank you. Hello, Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man. What's up? All right. Trump stops Biden in 5 crucial swing states per New York Times polling. The former President Donald Trump tops his fraudulency. That's a funny one. His fraudulency, Joe Biden, in 5 of 6 crucial swing states per polling from the far left New York Times. Let's get right to the numbers. Plus 11 in Nevada, plus 5 in Arizona, plus 5 in Pennsylvania, plus 6 in Georgia, plus 5 in Michigan, plus 2 in Wisconsin. Margin of error. Left-wing profiteer and warmonger Never Trump are already in panic. Bill Kristol, they're calling for President Biden to step out of it. Step out of the canoe, so to speak. It's time. President Biden has served our country well. I'm confident he'll do so for the next year, but it's time for an act of personal sacrifice and public spirit. It's time to pass the torch to the next generation. It's time for Biden to announce he won't run in 2024. We knew the calls to step out of it were soon. Biden allegedly won all 5 of these states, 6 of these states. So normally I would be pretty skeptical of an 11-point lead in a bluish state like Nevada. But with Nevada and Arizona being border state, with Nevada and Arizona being a border state, Biden opening the southern border to millions of unvetted illegals hailing from the third world, I'm a lot less skeptical of these results. Yeah, look, Joe Biden sucks on so many fronts. This does not surprise me at all. All right, let's move on. Gaza Holocaust is trending, and this is part of my question today, because I see a lot of these hashtags, and there's, it's everything bad that's happening. And look, the civilian casualties is sad to me in Gaza, and I blame every one of them on Hamas. Hamas is their government. Hamas committed an act of war. Hamas is feeling the wrath of the act of war. Hamas has told their citizens not to leave when Israelis warn them to leave areas where they're going to attack Hamas targets. And Hamas tells them not to leave. Hamas uses them as human shields. Hamas parades around the dead in as many videos as they can, getting sympathy around the world and getting idiots who don't really understand the situation and the history of that region, with making them look like idiots, okay? Because it is awful to see dead children. Yeah, but none of them are mourning the dead children of the Israelis. And, again, we've said, it's the you fuck around. This is the find out stage, and they're finding out, and it's terrible. It's terrible. And, in fact, Israel was creating corridors for refugees to leave, and Hamas was even attacking the corridors, attacking the Israeli soldiers, helping people to get out of the region while they go attack the Hamas tunnels and Hamas targets under hospitals and Hamas targets under schools and Hamas targets under, apartments and things like that where people live. And so every dead body in Gaza belongs to Hamas. All your dead bodies belong to Hamas. Okay? So, but of course, Gaza Holocaust is trending because, it's edgy to relate it to something that happened to the Jewish people, but this is nothing like that, okay? If, for example, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, did we just say, oh, well, we'll just have a ceasefire? No, they declared war on us. We did what we did. And, whether you question whether the nuclear bombs were necessary or the atomic bombs were necessary or not, we did what we did. When the Europe in World War II, Germany attacked everybody. And did anyone say, oh, no, ceasefire, you're killing German civilians when you bomb these cities and bomb these targets? There are no rules in war. I mean, you say there's rules in war. Yeah. Oh, you can't, I'm sorry. The other question that I come up with, again, I'll say it over and over, and we'll talk about it more extensively another day. But what exactly is this Palestine they keep talking about? Okay, now here they're saying Gaza Holocaust because, is it a two-state solution when you have Gaza and the West Bank? I thought that was the two-state solution where the so-called Palestinians, who didn't start calling themselves Palestinians until the 1960s, were getting their own areas and were getting billions of dollars aid to improve those areas. And you had Maybach dealerships, and you had Mercedes dealerships, and you had people, stores full of food, and people, living normal, and a lot of those people coming in and out of Israel to work. And all of a sudden, Hamas says, nope, that's not good enough. We're going to go kill a bunch of Israelis in what is an absolute act of war. If you don't think that Hamas is the military and whatever government of Gaza, then what else would you call it? They rule Gaza, and they decided to commit an act of war against Israel. Should Israel just said, oh, that's it's okay. We'll just have a ceasefire, because all these people are calling for ceasefire. Remember, Hamas loves to see the dead bodies, because they use that. They will call them martyrs. Okay. So anyway, there's protests everywhere. Okay. And one of those protests, I'm going to move on here, was at the White House over the weekend, or since Friday. Now, I was after I broadcast on Friday, but apparently this is Washington, D.C. Pro-Palestinian march stretches as far as the eye can see. Now, did the FBI send any of their agents into this crowd and had them tell people we need to go into the White House, or is this only reserved for Trump supporters? Now, that's the other fascinating thing about this. So this pro-Palestinian march in the streets of Washington, D.C. was fascinating. And a lot of those phrases like free Palestine and, Gaza Holocaust were the chants. Again, what is Palestine? What is this historical Palestine that you're talking about? And who ruled it, and what was the government structure? What was anything about this so-called Palestine? There wasn't. That's just it. Again, it was controlled by the UN after the British gave it to them, after the British took it over. I don't know if in World War I believe they took it over from the Ottoman Empire, the Turks. And a lot of the Palestinians are just a lot of leftover the Ottomans. And guess what? All that time, Jewish people were buying land. They were. We talked about with Wu when she visited us that people were saving their pennies. They're sending their pennies there, and they were buying pieces of land piece by piece. And so who is it when they say free Palestine? Well, what was it? Was it Ben Shapiro who said this? It was something like, what part? Because wasn't Gaza free? It wasn't occupied. They keep saying it's occupied land. Well, what part is occupied land that you're talking about? What part is occupied land? Because the Israeli occupation, so to speak, of Gaza ended in 2006. The West Bank is free. They were just, they were free to live whatever there. Now, so what part of so-called Palestine are you trying to free? What part? Please tell me. Please tell me what part of Palestine you trying to free. Oh, you mean the parts that are Israel now. Remember that phrase, from the river to the sea? That Rashida Tlaib just said, oh no, that just means that we want self-determination for the Palestinian people. Bullshit. You want to eradicate every Jew from the river to the sea. And in fact, the Hamas Charter wants to eradicate every Jew around the world. So, what part of Palestine are you trying to free? Gaza was free. West Bank was free. In fact, they were free to come in and out of there to work in Israel. So what part are you trying to free? So anyway, people were putting blood on the White House lawn and White House walls, and people were climbing the White House walls, and the Secret Service had to tell them to get down. I'm surprised nobody got shot. So people talking about this at the White House. How is it that extreme terrorists like the ones holding Palestinian flags can storm the gates of our White House, vandalize American taxpayer property, directly attack our democracy, and not one arrest nor any retaliatory blood spillage laid upon them? But if they would have worn MAGA hats, something smells staged again. Other people talking about what happened to the White House. Pro-Palestine insurrectionists. Now, there's a word that we've heard before. Pro-Palestine insurrectionists scale the White House fence, waving the Palestinian flag. I'm sure they will be hunted down, thrown in gulags, and given 17 to 22-year sentences. Oh, contraire, mon frere. That ain't happening. Yeah, why are you flying a Palestinian flag at the White House, by the way? I'm confused. That don't even make sense. This is definitely not Palestine over here. All right. So whatever. Let's see. It used to be called Judea. It was renamed by the Romans, Syria and Palestina. Yeah, it was. Yeah, thank you, Rockhopper. Well, area when the Romans controlled it was called what? When they took it over, what was it called? It was called what? It was called Judea. Gee, I wonder what Judea means. Now, granted, there was that little sliver that was the Philistines. You know, there were Philistines kind of controlled too. And that's where they came up with the whole Philistine-Palestine thing. But good Lord. Anyway, it's amazing. Mark Levin. Hamas insurrection, anti-Israeli rioters assault White House, scale gates, deface American monuments. Yeah, they put Palestinian flags on some of the monuments. This guy here, let's watch this guy for a second. This guy has a take on it. Come on. Say what you got to say, sir. As soon as that.
I am so outraged.
I'm confused.
You know, law enforcement the trash people out here picking up over 7,000 pieces of trash, where the White House gates have been vandalized, the streets are strewn with trash. But the biggest insult is here in Lafayette Park with General Lafayette. The Palestinian flag was raised and it still remains. And they have this Free Palestinian graffiti. They have it here. The General Lafayette and his compatriots, Free Palestine, they have raised the Palestinian flag on the grounds of the White House at Lafayette Park.
What the hell is wrong?
Look at this. I've never been so outraged. They've raised the Palestinian flag and more graffiti. More graffiti. Look at this.
Now, I don't know if he's going to support this or not.
You see this? Free Palestine. And look at this sign. Look at this sign.
Now, let me guess.
Decolonize Palestine. Decolonize the United States. Workers' World Party. It is unreal.
Communist.
It is unreal. I hate it to even touch it. This is what we've become. How can we allow this? How could the law enforcement watch for somebody to raise the
because they're not wearing MAGA hats, sir.
The people's house.
Because they're
and
not.
We got to pay for this cleanup.
Because they're not.
I'm Armstrong Williams, and this is just.
Oh, that's Armstrong Williams. I didn't even recognize him. That's Armstrong Williams. Good for Armstrong Williams. I haven't seen him for a long time. All right, let's move on. There's more. Chilling footage shows Hamas operating out of 2 Gaza hospitals, says Israel as troops prepare to invade the area. So this is that thing they do, right? They build their tunnels in our hospitals and under schools, and they shoot rockets from schools, and they, put places where the most populated people are, because they believe that the people, the Gazan people who Hamas is ruling over, they're meant to be the martyrs and the human shields. They're the pictures, right? So apparently there's IDF releases a video of Hamas operating out of a Gaza hospital here. So here it is. I don't think there's any sound with it. Showing the Hamas operating out of the hospital. Israel released chilling footage Sunday showing what it said were Hamas terrorists operating out of 2 hospitals around Gaza City. It vowed to have the enclave surrounded within 48 hours and start street combat. The Israeli Defense Forces spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari presented videos to reporters that he said revealed Hamas agents using an underground tunnel entrance at the Sheikh Hamad Hospital and also opening fire at Israeli forces from the medical center, the Times Israel reported. If it weren't enough that we're exposed to a tunnel under a hospital, the terrorists also shot at our soldiers from within the hospital. The IDF spokesman said Israel also uncovered a tunnel network under Indonesian hospital, as well as rocket launchers stationed near the building. So, yeah, and look, they do that so you can get the headline. Oh, Israel attacked a hospital. Yeah, full of Hamas people fighting them. Good morning, K-Show. Good morning, Selecta Boy. Good morning, number 1. All right, moving on. In the day, now I got to flash through all these because I got 45, 50 just headlines to go through now. So we're just going to do it quick. I got to get through it. We're going to do it. U.S. citizens told to leave Lebanon amid unpredictable security situation. Apparently, Americans are in danger in Lebanon, so the State Department issued a travel advisory Saturday morning, urging Americans to leave amid the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. The warning comes with threats from Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah to escalate military actions against Israel. Israel has been sending targeted strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon as Hezbollah fired rockets at Israeli troops. So Americans, get the fuck out! Just be gone. Don't just go. Go. Don't be there because they're gonna start fucking with you. Illegal insurrection. Israeli to restore Gaza evacuation route despite Hamas attack on IDF troops securing the corridor. I talked about this a few minutes ago. As the president, Joseph Rahim Biden's administration is pressuring Israel for a pause in its ongoing ground offensive in Gaza, Hamas is using humanitarian concessions to target Israeli soldiers. On Saturday, Hamas fired mortars and anti-tank missiles at Israeli troops, helping civilians to evacuate the battle zone. Look, this is nuts. So are the civilians in Gaza going to start realizing that Hamas is not their friend? My slogan, free Gaza from Hamas. They fired mortars and anti-tank missiles at Israeli troops, helping civilians to evacuate the battle zone. They exploited the humanitarian window between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. that the IDF provided for residents of Gaza to allow them to move southwards. During the humanitarian window, the terrorists fired mortars and anti-tank missiles at the IDF troops who arrived and operated to open the route. This incident further proves that Hamas exploits the Gaza population and prevents them from acting in the interest of their own safety. They're doing nothing to protect the citizens because they don't give a fuck about the citizens. They only care about killing the Jews. That's their thing. So they ambushed it, but the Israelis have vowed to reopen that route. In American Thinker, I never found I'm trying to find the video he's talking about. It says, must-see video why Muslim nations don't want so-called Palestinians. One of the things the left is desperately downplaying is it demands that Israel allow Hamas and its supporters to go unpunished and ideally cede to the Arabs the entire land of Israel is the fact that the surrounding Arab nations are refusing to take Gazans as refugees. The reason is that nobody wants these so-called Palestinian Arabs who have proven to be as destructive to Arab nations as they are to Israel. When Barack Obama's policy triggered the disastrous Arab Spring with massive upheaval in the Muslim lands of Africa and the Middle East, Europe opened its doors to refugees from those wars. Europe did this even though cultural connections to these refugees was minimal and non-existent. It was, the Europeans felt, the right thing to do. It also proved to have been a remarkably stupid thing to do, as Enoch Powell predicted, but that's another story. So, and people are talking about, oh, we should bring some of the Gazan refugees to the United States. No. Take them where they're wanted. Oh, wait, they're not wanted anywhere? Oh, my God, it's horrible. It's horrifying. So anyway,
why aren't more Arab countries in the Middle East taking in Palestine?
Here's the video.
The onset of a renewed war between Israel and Hamas has led to fear that millions of Palestinian people living in the Gaza Strip may be forced to become refugees. But despite the fact that Gaza shares a border with Egypt, the Egyptian government almost immediately ruled out any possibility of accepting Palestinian refugees. In fact, Egypt is currently constructing an even larger border wall with Gaza.
Wait, whoa, what? A border wall? Don't they know that border walls don't work?
Now, many outside observers have asked why Egypt, a majority Arab and Islamic nation, would turn away the Palestinians.
Because the Palestinians aren't necessary. Well, a lot of them are left over from the Ottoman Empire too. I don't know. The so-called Palestinian people are a mishmash of all kinds of cultures.
And of course, many have pointed out that it may serve the political interests of many Arab nations to refuse to accept Palestinian refugees because it allows them to then blame Israel for any sort of humanitarian crisis that unfolds. But the thing is, historically, many Arab nations have accepted Palestinian refugees. And that may be why Egypt doesn't want to now. For example, in 1991, the Kuwaiti government actually expelled nearly 300,000 Palestinians in the aftermath of the First Gulf War. And this represented an astonishing 18% of Kuwait's entire population.
Because they
So what was
were
the
fighting
reason? Well, the Palestinian Liberation Organization had actually supported Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait a year earlier.
That's
and
why.
This support only grew after Iraq began attacking Israel with rockets throughout the war. After Kuwait's liberation, the government considered much of the Palestinian community to be complicit in the Iraqi occupation of their country. And in response, nearly all Palestinians were deported in just a few months.
All right, now I'm gonna let you have to find this article and watch the rest of the video yourself. It'll be in the links today. It's on American Thinker. So that's a foreshadowing of the rest. It's a very good video. All right, let's move on. In PJ Media, Hamas trap for Israel could lead to a long war. Now this is interesting. The premise is the Hamas attack in Israel October 7th has left in tatters Israel's intelligence previously unchallenged reputation as one of the top intelligence gathering services in the world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is now trying to resurrect the nation's image as military invulnerable by waging a total war on Gaza. His goal is to flush out the terrorist leadership of Hamas. General Vincent Deportes, the former head of the French School of War in Paris, said on France 24 TV, Israel knows it's entering a trap prepared by Hamas for years and years. That is why there's been no D-Day type invasion. The Israelis have to advance and to secure everything very slowly. Otherwise, they will be attacked from the rear. Hamas wants to create a shock large enough for the Israeli population to say it's too costly to go forward. It is the issue of proportionality. There is no fucking issue of there's no proportionality in war. That's the problem. And unfortunately, our Biden administration is falling for it. Oh, this response is just not proportional. How do you have a proportional response to an attack that kills 1,400 people? Like, for example, what was our proportional response to Pearl Harbor? Did we have a proportional response? Or did we go full out in the Asian Pacific region? We didn't have a proportional response. What the fuck's a proportional response to an attack like that? Anyway, but again, it continues. It's a real trap, and Hamas knew this perfectly well, and it's pulling Israel into it. He said one of the important pillars in war, in proportionality, they have to take into account of the civilian population. You never go to war to kill, but to create a new political situation. Unfortunately, Hamas purposely embeds themselves within the civilian population and sensitive sites so that they can get the biggest press bang out of their martyrs. And that's why that's why Israel has to go in very carefully, and that's why they didn't rush in. That's why it's, even though they're doing some shit, they're doing some damage, but still. They've called up 300,000 Israeli reservists too, to be called up in the fight, given that the population of the Gaza Strip is or was 2 million, the area about the size of Washington, D.C. The traditional military advantage is Israel's. But is this a traditional war? Not really. Anyway, more on that in the article. Also in PJ Media, by the way, this is from Rick Moran. These pro-Hamas protesters are anti-Semites, not peace activists. That's a pretty heavy-duty charge. And it's almost like either they don't know what the hell they're saying, which a lot of them don't. A lot of them just follow along with the chants of the other people, or they just hate Jewish people. And I understand why it makes Jews nervous. I understand why gun purchases among Jewish people are skyrocketing right now. There was a huge pro-Hamas protest in Washington, D.C. on Saturday afternoon that quickly degenerated into an orgy of hate against Jews in Israel. Some estimates placed the crowd at around 100,000, although D.C. police refused to give any estimates. What was absolutely clear, however, was that there was very few peace activists in the crowd, given what they were chanting. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, and long live the Intifada was frequently chanted by the marchers. Another chant in tone that Israel does not have the right to exist. These aren't protesters. They're calling for the blood of Jews. And anyone who says differently isn't listening. Or those people are so stupid, they're just chanting along with something that they have no idea what they're fucking saying. Which I'm guessing about 60% of them are that. Marchers smeared red paint on the white stone gates of the White House, screaming Allahu Akbar, fuck Joe Biden. And speakers from several different post-Palestinian organizations took the stage. Biden, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Okay, someone mentioned the other day that the term genocide, I don't think they know what that word means, but they keep saying it, and they keep saying apartheid too. Apartheid? Yeah. Oh, apartheid is also known as a two-state solution. But oh man, it's amazing. It's amazing how dumb some of these people are. All right, I'm going to move on because I got to keep going because I got a whole bunch to get through. Pollack pro-Palestinian rallies are helping the Israeli war effort. That's interesting. Let's see what he means by that. Let's see. The pro-Palestinian rallies in major cities and on university campuses around the world, which have celebrated the Hamas attack of October 7th and called for the elimination of Israel, have shocked public opinion and frightened local Jewish committees. Well, it has, but some people are going, hold up. Hey, what the hell are you talking about? We don't play with this anti-Jewish clout. Hold up. Let's see. But the rallies, which are closely covered by Israeli media, have also strengthened Israel's resolve to fight. They have convinced Israeli Jews that if they were somehow to give up and allow their country to become, quote, Palestine, there's no such thing, there would be nowhere else to go. Central belief is the pro-Palestinian movement that Israeli Jews, some 7 million people, should leave the region and go back to wherever they supposedly came from. Oh, the land that has been Jewish land for 6,000 years? I don't know. Anyway, and this idea ignores the fact that Jews are the indigenous people of the land and have lived there for thousands of years, even during periods of dispersion and exile. It also ignores the fact that many Jews came to the region to flee persecution in Europe and in the Arab and Muslim world when no other country would take them. Because you remember, there were Jews scattered all throughout the Middle East, and all these countries began expelling them since 1948, where their population, 99% of the Jews that lived all over the Middle East had nowhere to go except to Israel or, the United States, wherever they went. And it's just insane but the history of this is completely lost on most people, or just never known because it's not taught in these colleges where they're just saying, whoa, they're on Palestinian land. Oh, really? Have your parents given up your land in, Northbrook, Illinois? That was once the Blackhawk land. If you're not giving up your Blackhawk land, shut the fuck up. I'm on a roll today. Holy shit. In front page, posters of kidnapped Israeli kids are traumatizing Hamas supporters. Yeah, they keep tearing down these posters because it's like, oh my God, they're on city streets and campuses across the country. Posters of kidnapped Jewish families, women, and children are being torn down by Hamas supporters. Why are they doing it? Well, Student for Justice in Palestine at Drew University issued a statement claiming that the posters of abducted children use triggering and insensitive language and delegitimize the need for Palestinian resistance. Oh, really? The missing and dead people are triggering? Imagine how they're triggering to their families, you assholes. You can read that's the brunt of the article. Washington Free Beacon, Harvard law student says pal at anti-Israel protests was protecting her from an aggressive Jew. What? Okay, here's the video. Let's see. Latest attempt from Harvard community to defend Barmal and fellow graduate Elam something. What is this? What happened here? So they're screaming at this person and surrounding this person, and they're saying that they were protecting somebody. The Harvard University law student who accosted an Israeli student at campus Dayan was merely protecting peaceful protesters who were put at risk by the aggressive Jew, quote, the fellow law student at the Ivy League school said. Ajna Avachat, a second-year Harvard law student who attended the protest, made the claims on Wednesday in a series of social media posts. Let's see. I was at this protest. Ibrahim was present as a safety marshal and stood in front of the mass student to protect our safety. The student was taking invasive photos and getting in our faces. Really? No. Ibrahim was standing in between a mass student who was trying to harass peaceful demonstrators, she said in another post. The student was taking photos of us 2 inches from our faces, stepping over and nearly stepping on us for explicit purpose of doxing students. That is, by its very nature, harassment and threatening to our safety. I'm going to believe that when the cows come home. And I don't have any cows, so they're not coming home. Thank you to Rydeus for sponsoring the show. Dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar. Said, from the Islamic Hadiths, quote, then the rocks and trees would call, O Muslim, O servant of God, there is a Jew behind me. Come and kill him. Wait, no, that's what they're, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, that's reading from the Hadith YouTube. I may get a ding for that, but that's okay. It's just, yeah, there are problems with that religion, but there's some Muslims who are calling that out too, and I don't have the video with me today. In Breitbart today, or let's see, this is from yesterday. Cruel and hateful. Michigan Attorney General demands Rashida Tlaib retract genocidal Hamas slant. You know, it's funny. I talked about this on Friday. Rashida Taliban got called out by the Attorney General of Michigan. Michigan Attorney General is calling for fellow Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib to retract the use of cruel and hateful statements she used to sympathize with Palestinians that had deeper genocidal background. Quote, she said, this is, who said this? This is okay, here's what she said. From the river to the sea is a popular chant used by sympathizers of the anti-Semitic Islamist militant group Hamas, who want to wipe Israel completely from the map. Tlaib used the phrase Friday in a video posted to X, formerly known as Twitter, in a plea to President Joe Biden to call for the ceasefire of the Israel-Hamas war. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said she had defended the far-left congresswoman countless of times because she believed her heart was in the right place, but asked for a retraction. And here it is. Rashida Tlaib, I have supported and defended you countless times, even when you have said the indefensible, because I believed you are to be a good person whose heart was in the right place. But this is so hurtful to so many. Please retract this cruel and hateful remark. And that's because here's Rashida Tlaib's description. And I know I did this Friday, but I'm going to rate it again, just how ridiculous this is. From the river to the sea is an aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence. No. If you drive the Israelis from the river to the sea, they're in the sea. They're not coexisting with you, you fucking moron. Human rights, peaceful coexistence, not death and destruction or hate. Really? Really? Hamas, who wants to eradicate Jews from the entire world? My work in advocacy is always centered in justice and dignity for all people, no matter faith or ethnicity. Which Byron Donalds, from the river to the sea, is a rallying call for the erasing of the state of Israel. If that's aspirational to you, that's a problem, and you're an asshole. I added the last part, but anyway. All right, Free Beacon. Southern Poverty Law Center spokesman signed a letter blaming Israel for Hamas terrorism. Of course, spokesman for the Southern Poverty Law Center signed a statement denouncing Israel as an apartheid state and an ethno-nationalist project, blaming the Jewish state for provoking Hamas's terrorist attack that killed 1,400 Israelis. Holy shit. These people are stupid. Michael Edison Hayden, a senior investigative reporter and spokesman for the Southern Poverty Law Center, and Hannah Gaze, a senior researcher and journalist for the SPLC, both signed an open letter that was published by a group called Writers Against the War on Gaza last Thursday. You know, did any of those writers have a posting writers on the death and destruction of Israeli people the day after November 7th? Did they sign a big old letter then? I'm guessing they did it. Anyway, so yeah, even the Southern Poverty Law Center, which used to be, there were as many Jewish people in high leadership at the SPLC as there were at ADL, and something's happened there where now they got some pro-Hamas sympathizers. It's amazing. Kill the Babies anti-Israel hecklers taunt Jews at stroller protest. So, oh my God, this is in Skokie, Illinois. So Jewish community members in Skokie outside of Chicago have organized an exhibit of 30 empty strollers to raise awareness of the 30 children currently being held hostage in Gaza, along with roughly 210 others. Each stroller sits a flyer containing a biography of the different kids, right? Well, apparently, hecklers shouted, "Kill the babies," to taunt a protest Sunday organized by the Jewish people in Skokie. And so, but you're worried about dead children. I get it. Yeah, sure. Way to go. You're fucking assholes. PJ Media. Israeli Children's Orchestra records beautiful patriotic song to boost morale. If you want to watch that, it's pretty cool, but I don't have time. But it's in the links today. American thinker leftists are shocked, I say, that neo-Nazis are sullying their anti-Semitism. Here, let's make this fit. This is funny. So in the 30 days since Hamas attacked Israel, the worst massacre since World War II in the once civilized world, we've seen, it's not, no. In Israel, I should say. We've seen unprecedented anti-Semitism and leftist readouts across the West. In America, on college campuses in the streets of D.C., leftists have made common cause with Muslims to demand that Palestine must be free from the river to the sea, that quaint little phrase they use, which is Hamas's poetic way of saying kill the Jews. On the left, that's virtuous. However, what's horrifying them is that neo-Nazis are joining their rallies. Hey, is this horseshoe theory? Apparently anti-Semitism is only okay when your side does it. It's difficult to convey how crazy it is to see Vice News, a popular leftist outfit, explain that it's wrong when a handful of neo-Nazis use anti-Semitic rhetoric, but somehow it's okay when hundreds of thousands of Muslims and their sympathizers do the same. So here it is. Oh my God. First to set the stage, this is Hamas. Okay, that's their beating the unconscious body of a civilian, right? Now, 4 weeks ago today, Israelis were butchered by Hamas terrorists. Okay, there's a few of those. And then in University of California, San Diego, protesters chant that UCSD and Biden are funding a genocide while calling for the eradication of Israel when saying from the river to the sea. So here's that University of California, San Diego. Listen carefully. You are funding genocide. From the river to the sea. There's that quaint little phrase again. Okay, so those are students at the University of California, San Diego. Hello, Shrapnel. What's up? So this isn't new, of course. It's what Muslims believe, and they have video of each of those. But now, wait a minute. Here's one. Shocked. Free Palestine becomes kill the Jews. Oh, I don't want to play that one. Anyway, and here's the level of support the left has for these same genocidal maniacs. So we got Kamala Harris' daughter raising $8 million for Gaza, and Spokane Antifa have shut down the street downtown. Instead of arresting them, police are now helping Antifa shut down traffic as protesters chant from the river to the sea. Well, and then here's one at Browning. There's just example after example, right? Now I'm going to skip down to the Vice News article though, where they get down here. But in some, here it is. Hamas wants to kill all Jews and leftists support Hamas. With that in mind, I think you can properly appreciate the lunacy behind Vice's horror over the neo-Nazi despoiling the purity of their hate fest. Around 40 people affiliated with the National Justice Party, a white nationalist anti-Semitic group, gathered in front of the White House to protest Israel last weekend, the essay begins. Then it quotes neo-Nazi Mike Pianovich, who had something to say about the Jews. Israel is a pure genocidal state, and make no mistake, Pianovich told rally attendees over the PA system, we Americans have been snookered into supporting Israel by Jewish control of our banks, our media, and our politicians. But we have to say enough and rise up as a people. Now that's indistinguishable from what Hamas and leftists say. It's just that Hamas adds in the demand for Israel's extinction. You'd think Vice would be happy to have allies in the cause, but it's not. The problem, as Vice sees it, is that the neo-Nazis are sullying Hamas's message. Hamas's message to kill them all. Here's the example. Pianovich's rhetoric is an example of how far-right anti-Semites are trying to use the pro-Palestinian movement to hijack some of its language, criticizing the Israeli government for actions in Gaza, and then use that as a vehicle to push anti-Jewish conspiracy theories and tropes into the mainstream. The exact same tropes that the Palestinian protesters and Hamas have putting into the mainstream. But Vice then assures us that all evidence to the contrary, there is no ideological kinship between that group and the wider pro-Palestinian movement, even though they use the same phrases. Fringe extremist groups are first and foremost opportunists and will leap at any chance to insert themselves into a popular movement. Funny, but that's not what Vice was saying when fringe extremists attached themselves to the Tea Party or in support of Donald Trump. And that was true even though there was no overlap in the two groups' messaging. And so the Babylon Bee has this perfect post. Palestine protester tries to argue with Skinhead, but they just agree on everything. So there you go. That's perfect. Good God. They are so self-unaware. Real quick, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show, who says, useful idiots are people who are willing to betray their country and culture for a foreign ideology. The most glaring example are the queers for Palestine and the liberal Jews who go to Palestinian protests and are shocked when they get attacked. That's right. That's right. Like some of the Black Hebrew Israelites, right? Right? The BHI. All right. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. It's like, oh, the irony of it all. It's amazing. All right. And speaking of rhetoric, I'm just going to give you the headline, and you can probably guess who said it. We will drink your blood and eat your skull. Legacy of Islamic savagery. So this is some, what's her name? Ahmed Tamimi. What's the deal with Muslim calls for not just violence, but eating flesh or drinking the blood of their infidel enemies? A Palestinian activist in the occupied West Bank in Palestine. She's best known for appearances in images and videos which she confronts Israeli soldiers. Tamimi's advocates consider her a freedom fighter for Palestine. In December 2017, she was detained by Israeli authorities for slapping a soldier. The incident was filmed and went viral, attracting international interest and debate. Tamimi was sentenced to 8 months in prison after agreeing to a plea bargain and released on the 29th of July, 2018. Okay, here's what she recently wrote in her Instagram. We are waiting for you, Jewish settlers, in all the cities of the West Bank from Hebron to Jenin. We will slaughter you, and you will say that what Hitler did to you was a joke. We will drink your blood and eat your skull. Come on, we're waiting for you. Well, she seems like a nice girl. But I won't bring home to mama. And then also protesters screaming Allahu Akbar as they protest at the White House. That's beautiful. All right, only headlines now because I'm out of time. Hamas insurrection, anti-Israel rioters assault White House, scale gates to face American monuments. We've already seen that. in Daily Caller. Comer teases about 2 subpoenas for the Biden family investigation. Uh-oh! They might be calling some people in to testify before Congress because the law enforcement ain't doing shit. The New York Post, America is tired of Joe and Hunter Biden weaponizing addiction as a get out jail free card. Yeah, well, look, all the Democratic activists are saying, well, Joe Biden just loves his son and he's battling addiction, and that's like, oh, well, yeah, but he still broke some laws and took some money from people that he's not supposed to be taking money to, and probably peddled some influence among China, Ukraine, and other places around the world. So who gives a fuck about Hunter Biden's addiction? Okay, it just helped us figure it out because he's so stupid he left his laptop at a computer shop. In legal insurrection, more evidence: Hamas using hospitals for launching rockets, hiding in tunnels, and terrorists. We already showed that from another article, but here's another one that reinforces it. Is China linked TikTok?
China is asshole.
Influencing American youth to be anti-Israel. Is there a doubt? The algorithm promotes the pro-Palestine, the from the river to the sea crowd. TikTok, with its app with ties to Chinese Communist Party and popular with young Americans, has been shown to favor pro-Palestinian content, leading to experts to question whether the platform has a built-in bias being against Israel. I'm sure it does. Would it shock you at all? Nope. There's a lawsuit that alleges HBO execs created online secret army to target critics of movies and TV shows. So they've been using electronic means to try to shout down people who don't like movies. It's like, look, if your movie sucks, it sucks. Just get over it. Front page 6 conservative documentaries you should be watching now. This is a good list. No Farmers, No Food, Will You Eat Bugs? That's one of them. The Essential Church, that's on the 2-hour flick, shows the fight of 3 churches to remain open and serve their congregations during the pandemic. When the mob came, this is about Mao's Cultural Revolution, of which mobs of young Red Guards took the streets of China to purge society of the 4 olds, ideas, old habits, whatever. Civilization in the Danger Zone. That's a good list. You can check it out. In the Daily Caller, families are struggling under rising inflation, Biden-led regulation, according to experts. Well, are the experts listed? I think they are, but the key points are key costs for families like childcare, shelter, have risen substantially during Joe Biden's tenure. Experts point to inflation caused by Biden's high spending policies and regulations for the higher costs taken on by families. And if you had to pick the places where inflation remains the most significant, it's going to be in food, shelter, and certainly in shelter, said Douglas Holtz-Eakin, president of the American Action Forum and former director of the Congressional Budget Office. And having kids means you need more space, and so that's going to be a really expensive proposition right now. I'm so proud of my daughter and son-in-law because they found a great place for a reasonable price and probably won't have to move for a long time no matter how many kids they have, because it's a big-ass house in a little-ass town, which they got the big bang for their bucks, and good for them. In Pipeline, Inconvenient Truth, temperature leads CO2. This is just some science shit. That, more proof of global warming. Oh, wait, climate change has always happened. Global warming ever since the Ice Age. I'm going to make that t-shirt. I really am. Anyway, talking about how it's a different relationship, that it's not CO2 that drives temperature. It's actually temperature that leads CO2. And there's a historical basis for that, but especially when you look at ice core temperatures. Anyway, also, in Media Research Center, Phil Berrier, border jumper allowed into U.S. turns out to be a wanted terrorism suspect. Because, how many terrorism suspects do you think are coming across the border right now that they aren't even vetting? I'm not really. Come back for your hearing. Ha! Yeah, border sucks. Anyway, Breitbart photo shows migrants forcing their way through Texas border barriers, which, It's funny too is the Biden administration is trying to have the federal government remove some of the border barriers that the state of Texas is putting up, and the judge said, "Fuck you! You're not doing it. We'll let them do it. They have a right to. It's their state." And also, out of room, New York City is literally paying for migrants to leave, but many refuse to go. We talked about that earlier. Here's the full story if you want to read that. But Mayor Adams is offering plane tickets for migrants who want to leave. And a lot of them say, nah, we're good. Migrants who are being turned away from New York City shelters are being given an option to leave the city at the city's expense. But dozens told the Daily Caller News Foundation they don't intend to leave. The city recently established a reticketing center for migrants where they can get free one-way plane tickets to another location. But I've already started my asylum process. Shut up. I already started my asylum process. Besides, as a gay, I don't want to continue suffering. The life of a gay and immigrant is not easy. A Venezuelan migrant told the Daily Caller. Oh, who? Lord Almighty. Lord help us. Daily Wire, if a Democrat wins in Virginia on Tuesday, Speaker of the House poised to be a felon who wants to release the murderers. Political control of Virginia House of Delegates is up for grabs this Tuesday in Virginia. Yeah, if you live in Virginia, go vote and don't vote for Democrats. And if the now narrowly Republican-led body reverts to Democrat control, it will likely be led by a felon who spent 7 years in prison. What's his name? Since the Democrats last controlled the chamber 2 years ago, moderate Democrats like former House Speaker Eileen Filler-Corn have been pushed out and replaced by insurgents like Don Scott, who was apprehended by federal agents in a Denny's restaurant in 1994 after running into the bathroom and attempting to flush thousands of dollars of drug money. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison and served 7.5. Now he's going to... He could be the Speaker of the House in the state of Virginia if you don't go and vote, people. I'm just saying. In PJ Media, a quarter of Americans say that they know someone who was partially killed by stupid 19 jab. Ugh. Okay, more polls. Legal insurrection. Bay Area hospitals reinstate mask mandate concerned with the dreaded triple-demic. Asking mandatory also returning to Los Angeles County. I guess they're not reading the scientific evidence, including the guidance from the CDC on that. So they want you to put the mask back on. Only in hospitals, though. Only in hospitals. Because that only in hospitals. Is it only in hospitals? Is California doing it, or is the hospitals themselves doing it, though? Oh, it is specific hospitals doing it. So at least it's not the state doing it, but still. Teachers unions only have themselves to blame for the rise in homeschool numbers. Anyone doubt that? Nope. Moving on. We'll close that. That's Ace. Daily Wire. Former Obama advisor doubts wisdom of Biden staying in the 2024 race. Listen. We already heard it once from Bill Kristol earlier in the show. They don't want Biden to be the nominee in 2024. And that's why the drip of the media finally talking about his financial problems. They've known this all along. He was never going to be a two-term president. They did not, because he's an idiot. And he's always been an idiot. And they don't want him. They're going to get him out of the paint. But this is an Obama advisor, David Axelrod. He's got some power in the Democratic Party. Very late to change horses. A lot will happen in the next year, and no one can predict. And Biden team says is resolved to run his firm. He's defied. Okay, whatever. They want him out. And another similar article. Biden 2024 campaign in disarray over Israel-Hamas war. Yeah, because their constituents are split on this. Plus, you got some Democrats jumping in. There was a poll, too. There was another poll talking about how a generic Republican that's not Trump or DeSantis, just generic Republican, 14-point lead. Just generic Republican versus Biden. And Trump has a 10-point lead over Biden. But generic Republican, 14-point lead. So if your name is generic Republican, you should be running for president right now. That's why I still support Doug Burgum. But I'll vote for the guy with the funny hair if he's the nominee. But I'm like Doug Burgum from North Dakota. You haven't heard of him, but he's running. Virginia Tuesday's election, a big effing deal as Democrats fearmonger abortion, gun rights, and MAGA. Oh my. Abortion, gun rights, and MAGA. Oh my. So anyway, in closing message to voters in this year's closely watched Virginia legislative elections, Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin ticks off accomplishments from the first half of his term. Tax cuts, law enforcement pay raises, and more money for mental health services, Youngkin says in the political ad, adding that there's so much more he wants to get done over this next 2 years in office. Elect a Republican team to back me up, and I promise we'll deliver. Well, the Democrats... abortion, gun rights, and MAGA. Oh my. So they're trying to scare you. So vote in Virginia and do not vote for the damn Democrats. And in Kentucky, what's going on in Kentucky? 2019, when Democrat Andy Beshear defeated incumbent Republican Matt Bevin by the slimmest of margins, by the hair of his chinny chin horsetail. In the Kentucky gubernatorial race, the mainstream media tripped over themselves, pushing the narrative that the deep red state of Kentucky has been flipped and is now turning blue. Well, Daniel Cameron might be changing that. We'll see what happens. Is this election tomorrow? Or is this the next year? Oh, it is on Tuesday. Their election's tomorrow. Oh, my God. Go vote for Danny in Kentucky, too. Good man. Top U.S. senators warn military will strike Iran under 2 conditions. Oh, good God. Probably if we're attacked or if they attack somebody. Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal, the war hero? They said that over the weekend that they are introducing a bipartisan resolution calling for military strikes against Iran if its terror proxies in the Middle East kill any U.S. soldier or if Hezbollah opens up a second front against Israel. Oh, my God. Lindsey Graham never saw a war he didn't like. Hey, I got an idea. How about let's move our troops just back a little bit so that don't happen because we don't need to get in another fucking war. But, I mean, if it happens, I can see if they actually attack us. I mean, if this is some errant strike or whatever, but if they start attacking us, I can see cleaning house. But damn, Lindsey Graham loves him some wars, boy. Holy shit. Turkey police tear gas pro-Hamas mob trying to storm the airbase housing U.S. troops. So Turkey's like ain't playing because they don't want the Palestinians either. No one else in the Middle East wants the Palestinians. Oh, trans field hockey player reportedly knocks out female rival's teeth. Oh, good God. Is this... Okay. Video posted by Gaines shows the moment when Sawyer Gruthius, a biological male player in the Swampscott team, hits the shot that nails the young lady in the face with a sickening thud. The crowd can be heard gasping as she falls to her knees, clutching her face. Other players immediately pause as her teammates rush to her side. So there's... Yeah, this dude is playing field hockey. And is this in Australia? No, in Massachusetts. High school. It's a high school player. Boy playing field hockey. Knocked a girl's teeth out. Why? Why? All right. There's a few more. Science class grown-up trans kid details the horrors of trans surgeries in a Candace Owen interview. Washington Free Beacon, fake breast, laser hair removal, and a facial feminization. California taxpayers bankroll $4 million worth of gender-affirming enhancements for prisoners, including 4 death row inmates. Oh, my God! They're doing trans surgeries for death row inmates. Make it make sense. Bill Maher to left-wing college students supporting Hamas. You're the ones with the tiki torches now. Oh, that little horseshoe theory. Little horseshoe theory, right? Oh, good God. Because they're the ones, you remember? And Jeff Bezos is leaving a democratic paradise and moving to Florida. He's leaving, Jeff Bezos, they're leaving Washington. They're moving to Florida. Oh, no. Oh, no. And let's see. One of Glamour Magazine's Women of the Year, you guessed it, is a dude. Why is this alarm keep going off? Shut up. Got to stop. That was me. That was the alarm to say you're supposed to be done already. I hit snooze. Apparently, is Dylan Mulvaney one of the glamour? You got to be kidding me. Who is it? They didn't feature the guy, in a glamour shot, doing his level best with the help of untold number of surgical procedures, tons of makeup, staged lighting, and a shutter. What else? Oh my God. The title of the puppies. Gina Rosero is writing her truth. Okay. So, again, they just do it over and over. And finally, mystery novelist unravels the real reason young progressives now hate J.K. Rowling. Well, mostly because for anti-trans stuff, which is, she believes that there are biological females that are women that don't have penises. But the reason a lot of young progressives are so mad at J.K. Rowling is that they read the books as kids and they thought they were Harry or Hermione, but they grew up into people like Percy and Dolores Umbridge or Cornelius Fudge or Rita Skeeter. Okay, that's enough of that shit. Guys, I gotta go. I'm way over time. I'm gonna be late. Hey, I want to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Thank you for being in a very lively chat today. Thank you for the sponsors today, Black Hebrew Israelite, Tarai Deos, Jimmy Das Hotep, and our superstar sponsor of the day, Gunfox61. Thank you for everyone tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciate all you do. I'll let you know if that schedule change comes up. It's probably coming because they'll let me know. So we'll figure it out when it happens. Anyway, thank you. I got to go. My name is P. Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P. Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P. Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P. Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.